morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into today's video, where you will be the lucky ones who gets to look at my big dicker. Yes, my big dicker Max. Make sure you subscribe. You know, I've lost subscribers over the last couple of months, so it'll be nice. It'll be a nice change for you guys to subscribe and to actually gain some subscribers. Come on, guys, we want to get to the 65,000 subscriber mark. So let's do it. Subscribe. It doesn't cost you a single thing. So back to today's video. A tank that we haven't actually had a look at for a very long time, and I mean, like, I'm talking years. It is the big dicker Max. So the dicker Max is a German tier 6 tank destroyer. It's a premium tank that's been around for a very long time. Now, what is the tank like? Now, it's not the best, I'm not going to lie. It isn't the best of tanks, but it isn't the worst, you know. There's some things about the tank that is absolutely fantastic, and there's some things about the tank that just absolutely sucks. So let's get into it. Let's have a look at the stats, and then we'll get into some battles. So the armor, as you can see, is non-existent. The frontal plate is a little bit stronger than it used to be, but it's still not the best. Of course, when you are up against some tier 6 and some tier 5s, even though you can see there the hull is only 5, it is actually a lot, 50, it is actually a lot stronger than it says on paper. But yeah, you can't like actively rely on your armor. It's not good, but you can get the troll bounce, especially from lower tier tanks. So the DPM 2209, it's not bad, but if you look at that compared to things like the Cryos, which is very similar gameplay, the Cryos is pretty much 3000, so there's a massive difference. The aim time is 8.42. The penetration is 180 on your AP, 250 on your APCR, and 53 on your HE. So penetration wise, I mean, APCR, yeah, you're going to get through most things that come in front of you, to be honest. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. You've got a 310 alpha on your AP, 260 on your APCR, and a very nice 380 on your HE. Aim time, very good. In fact, it's very good at 2.9. So is the gun dispersion at 0.319. And it has a massive 15 degrees of gun depression. Now, that gun depression really does help you. So you need to get on a ridge, and if you can get on a ridge, you'll be able to aim your gun down enough, and they probably won't even be able to see you. They might just about see your gun. But we're going to get into a game, and we'll show you just how that gun depression works. Top speed, 40 kilometers an hour, so not the best, but you know, 40 is not bad at all. So we just had this game. It's not the best of games, not by a long shot, but it goes to show like some of the positions that you can get this tank in with 15 degrees of gun depression. I mean, look, we can get ourselves on this ridge and only show our gun, which helps because if you need to reverse and get out of there, you're only literally going to show your tank for a split second. So the whole idea of using the gun depression like or this tank with that gun depression is literally like expose your tank, take the shot, back up. But when you're in a situation like we are here, we've got no tanks around. You know, there's tanks obviously in front of us. They're not going to see us. They're aiming at other tanks, so we don't really have to back up. But I mean, just look at these kind of gun depression angles that we can get this tank into. Now, a lot of this game was just me waiting for shots to come available because, as I've said, you don't just want to rush in. You don't want to rush in with this tank because it doesn't have any armor. People will be able to HE you, especially from the side or the rear. They will be able to HE you, and they're going to do a lot of damage. So do bear that in mind. So once that tank's gone, the Cryos, which is probably the most dangerous tank on the enemy team, once he's gone, the Easy 8 over there is a one-shot, so I could probably start to push a little bit forward. Now, if you do like things like the Nash Horn, like the Grill Line in general, then you might like this tank. You really might like it because it does fit into that kind of tech tree. Of course, it's been around a lot longer than those tanks have, and again, like a shot here, yes, we do get shot, but we are able to take take the shot whilst we're on that ridge and then back up. The same here. We are sort of behind the ridge. Yes, we are going to get shot, but the fact that you can hide a lot quicker than you would if you didn't have that gun depression, because if you didn't have that gun depression, you'd have to go over the ridge a bit more, show more of your tank, then it will take you a lot longer to reverse out the way. So the gun depression is the best thing about this tank by a long shot. The gun depression is very, very good. Not the highest in the game, believe it or not. It isn't the best in the game, but it is one of the best in the game. And because you don't really see this tank a lot now, back in the day, even back in the day to be fair, before they bring in all the new premium tanks, all the OP tanks, etc., this still wasn't really played that much, you know, back in the old days of Blitz, where there wasn't any premium tanks as such. The only premium tanks you could get was in the tech tree, like this, and like the IS-6, the T-34, etc. So these were around a lot longer before all the premium tanks that you could actually buy in the shop. So we're just going to have one more game on Mines, which is driven by someone who sent me the replay. Very, very good game. So waiting, and we'll see that game. So the tank itself, I mean, when it does come for sale, obviously you can't buy in the tech tree any longer because Wargaming removed that. So it doesn't actually come for sale that often. As I've said, it used to be a tank where you could just go to the tech tree, go to the German tech tree, and you could pretty much buy it whenever you wanted. But when it does come for sale, I mean, you're looking at a few thousand gold, like maybe 3,000 gold. You might get some premium time on that as well. So it is I mean, if you like playing tier 6, then yeah, I suppose it isn't a bad tier 6 to own, especially if you do like gun depression. If you like gun depression, then yeah, it is a very good tank if you want to get yourself on a ridge. Nowadays, I mean, for me, and obviously, well, that was a nice shot, but for me and other people out there, if I wanted to play tier 6, would this be the tank destroyer I go to, like the turretless tank destroyer? Probably not. The Jagdpanther 4, Panzer 4, that would probably be one of them, and of course the Cryos, which I own both. So those will probably be, especially the Cryos, those would probably be my go-to tanks. Yes, they don't have the gun depression that this tank has, but neither does 99% of the tanks. This is what, the second, I think, or the third best gun depression tank in the game. I think the best is a lot high. It's like an 18 or something like that, but in tier 1 or tier 2, so higher tier, this is pretty much the highest the highest gun depression tank in the game. I think it's second, but gun depression isn't everything, you know. When this is the only thing that really that this tank has got that's decent is that gun depression. Yes, it's got the alpha, it's got the penetration if you use an APCR, but other than that, most of your battles, I mean, that there was a lucky bounce. That really was a lucky bounce. But most of your battles are going to end in misery. You know, you're not going to do a lot of damage. You're just going to get ripped apart, and a lot of people will be able to HE you. So if you come across those smashers or those SU-152s, do be careful, because they will be able to one-shot you. And things like that SU-100Y, he will be able to also do a lot of damage. So would that SU-100 if it wasn't for that juicy ammo rack there. So this game, I mean, 2,200 damage. It is a 2 versus 2, but again, he doesn't have a lot of hit points, so he's got to be very, very careful. That there, I don't know what that was. It was very, very unlucky. So it's definitely not a frontline tank, guys. So if you do decide to purchase this tank, don't play it frontline. Don't be stupid and play it frontline. If you know how to play the Nashorn, the grill line, then you should really understand how to play this, because it is played exactly the same, pretty much exactly the same. At the back of the map, on a ridge, try and find a ridge, or if you can't get to the back of the map, or if you haven't got any shots, go a bit further forward, but just try to get on that ridge, because if you don't get on the ridge, what use is 15 degrees of gun depression. Like, what use is it if you don't, if you're not able to use it? But other than that, the Big Dicker Max, it's not the best tank in the world, but it's been around for a long time. My Big Dicker has been around the block. It's been around the block, and yeah, it's getting old and wrinkly. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you for now. Bye-bye.